Good morning. Welcome to Yoga Small Plates. This is the last day of my 14-day unchallenge. And we've been talking about, if this is the first one you've made, we've been talking about exhaustion and yoga practices that can help to alleviate exhaustion. So today's the last day. Gosh, there's so many more things I wanted to share, but since it's just small plates, I had to do little tiny, practices, and I think that's good sometimes because exhaustion often relates to overwhelm. So my idea was, let's just do little things. So you don't have to do 90 minutes of practice, right? You can do 2 asanas and often that will make a difference. And sometimes if you start with 2 asanas, you get inspired and you want to do more. So, there's many small things we can do to support burnout and exhaustion. And the small things, I think, are just as important as, and many times more important when you're working with exhaustion in terms of just getting you motivated to do something active. One of the things I like to talk about with my students is relaxation is different than Netflix and wine, right? So, sometimes we think, I'm so fried, I just have to lie on the couch and watch Netflix and drink. And that, not that there's anything wrong with that on occasion, but the issue that I think we're starting to understand, the practices that we're starting to understand, particularly with the emerging neuroscience, is that relaxation requires your active participation in order to train the nervous system. So I think that's a real highlight of this series, is that relaxation is not the same thing as numbing out or vegging out, right? Relaxation has to do with taking an active role in training your nervous system to learn to shut down. And in this hyper-stimulated culture that we live in, it's really important to be able to learn how to shut the nervous system down. Or I should say, that's not technical, right? How to activate the parasympathetic part of the nervous system and relax the sympathetic part of the nervous system, or deactivate. So that's a highlight for me, and I would say that's a really important message that I'd like to get through in this 14-day challenge as we wrap it up, that relaxation requires your active participation. And then the other piece that I wanted to talk about today is the idea that spirituality is an antidote as well as a protective factor against burnout and exhaustion. So, the word spirituality a lot of times triggers people because many people have been victimized or traumatized by religion. So, if you have good feelings about religion, then spirituality probably feels good to you. If you have bad feelings about it, spirituality might feel terrible to you. So reframe that in a way that's more applicable to you. It might be something as simple as interconnectedness or connectedness to all things. If that is a more appropriate term for you, then go ahead and use that and think about it that way. So the idea with this interconnectedness, which for some people is about spirituality, is that you in the physical body and in the mental body, there's necessarily limits on our physical and our mental capacity. Necessarily, there's just no way that this body is going to last forever and that this brain can know everything in the universe, right? So we have limits on the physical and the mental sphere, but the spiritual sphere is limitless, and it's a source of unlimited spiritual inspiration or energy. And if you can convert that spiritual energy into mental and physical energy, then you're sort of operating on a level where exhaustion doesn't become much of an issue, right? So how do we convert spiritual energy into mental and physical energy? Yoga offers us many different, a wide variety of avenues via the tradition, be it meditation, kirtan, mantra, prayer, and all of the different manifestations of those practices. And then layering those practices with asana and pranayama also catalyzes the effects of asana and pranayama. So that's one thing I'd like to leave you with, is that however you access the spiritual source of your existence is going to be a protective factor as well as an antidote to much of your exhaustion. So a few things before I wrap up today. If you're interested in my teachings, if you want more, I have several online things that are cooking right now, including a course on neurobiology of yoga for yoga professionals. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. I also have many courses available on Yoga U online. That's yoga with a U online. And I will be leading a 300-hour advanced training here in beautiful Asheville, North Carolina, and it starts in November, so keep a lookout for that too if you're interested. Now that's going to be organized as 10 3-day modules. On Thursday, I'm flying out to the West Coast for a little West Coast tour. I'm teaching in Tacoma and also San Jose. Love you to join me if you're on the West Coast. Shoot me a message if you're interested in finding out more about those workshops. So thank you for being here. It's always, it's just so lovely to see that people are here on Sunday morning, and it's been really nice to connect with you. Please send me questions or comments, and let me know what you want me to do in my next series, because I'm going to do another live series probably in August. Thank you. Namaste.